Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Head chef all the way, Ted's Meat and Potatoes asks the question, is this food? But first, time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Guys, let's jump right into the birthdays. I'm not sure if you received my message or not, but I want to get a happy birthday from my hunk of a husband, Shane. Also a fish sandwich and a small penis. His birthday was Tuesday. I couldn't figure out how to do a shout-out for him. That from Jessica.
I'm a fish sandwich.
No, we don't do that. Yeah, his birthday was Tuesday.
I mean, you got to be on time, man. You know.
Yeah. Guys, my friend Damien's birthday is today. We wish him a happy one with some dirty Germans talking about women of significant height. Thanks, guys. That from Emily.
Yeah, I like women of significant height. That's why I can walk around on my knees, look up, and see good stuff.
Yeah, it's like going to a fancy art gallery. You're always looking up in between the pillars.
Yeah. You can do the limbo under the legs.
Yeah. Her legs were so long, I didn't know if you were having sex or playing jiu-jitsu.
Fellas, can I get a birthday wish for my oldest daughter, Melanie? She's turning 19 today. She would love a fish sandwich, maybe a Miles inspirational quote, and the dirty Germans talking about her moving out of my house someday. That from her father, Brent the plumber. Thanks, guys.
And I
appreciate it.
Fish sandwich.
Okay. All right. It's Melanie. Melanie, whenever I see an old lady slip and fall on a wet sidewalk, my first instinct is to laugh and laugh and laugh. But then I think, what if I was an ant and she fell on me? Then it wouldn't seem quite so funny, would it?
Yeah, your father wants you to move out. Here's the deal. As soon as you move out of your father's place, I will move into you.
Yeah, so you're still becoming somebody daddy.
Yeah, just like being at home.
Yeah, I feel like there's an unchained joke here, but I'm not sure what it is.
Your father might kill us now.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Guys, today's my boyfriend Andrew's 25th birthday. He would love a shout-out with the dirty Germans talking about compactors or hydraulic cylinders. Thanks, guys. That from Carissa.
Yeah, I have a hydraulic cylinder. It is cylindrical and it is wet.
Yeah, and it can press into things very strongly.
Yeah, we know all about this.
It's unleashed by a zipper.
Yeah, you've heard of a trash compactor? Well, called the butt compactor.
Trash compactors are awesome.
They really freaking are.
Back in the day. Guys, I want to wish my son Nick a happy 31st birthday. He's turned out pretty good. Can I get a trio of fish sandwiches? Thanks, guys, from the dad, Steve.
A fillet of fish sandwich.
Do I get a fish sandwich?
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
Guys, can you please give my husband a birthday shout-out? His name is Mike. We've been married for 6 years. He's the funniest person I've ever met. Today, he is turning 34 years old. Can we please get some turtle sex and an OG fish sandwich? Thanks, guys. We love your show.
Do I get a fish sandwich?
Gentlemen, today is my beautiful wife Shannon's 37th trip around the sun. Can the dirty Germans tell her what a blind man should do for the birthday girl? Gracious, bitches. That from her loving, amazing husband, Tom.
Yeah, Tom, this is so easy. When she comes home today, you say, open my pants and see the Shannon cannon.
Yeah, you know, it's this blind man. It's pretty simple. Look for the damp spot.
Bitcholas, I want to wish my Pookie Butt David a happy 39th birthday. You guys crack us up on the daily. We would love to hear the captain regale us with his tales of shrooms and acid, and maybe a little inspirational quote from Miles. Love, Pooh Barrington and the Fur Babies.
Oh, the last time that I tripped hard on acid and shrooms, I did it with other mascots, including the Keebler Elves. And that's when they confided to me that they came up with fudge stripe cookies during a norovirus outbreak at the factory. Crunch berries.
David, just remember that hope that when you die, people will say of you, that guy sure owed me a lot of money. All the bitches, today's my big 4-0 around the burning ball. I'll have to send my own because my friends and family suck. I'll thank you guys for the laughs during the commute home. Without you guys, I'd probably go crazy. So for my birthday, I would like an owl hitting the window, followed by a what the F is that, Jay, and a Miles inspirational quote. Keep on rocking, bitches. That from James in Auburn.
Oh my God! What the is that, bro?
Okay. All right, James. James, I remember, we used to laugh at Grandpa when he'd head off and go fishing. But we wouldn't be laughing that evening when he'd come back with some whore he picked up in town. All the Macholas, today is my friggin' awesome wife Leanne's 43rd birthday. Can she get the best fish sandwich medley you got? And the dirty German's telling her all she needs to know about Long Beach and the fun that she can have while there. Keep on rocking, guys. That from Ox.
Can I get
A filet of fish sandwich.
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich?
Do I get a fish sandwich?
With the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I'll order a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side.
Oh,
I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon and at night.
I'll buy you a fish sandwich. So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Yeah, you want to go to this Long Beach? I should let you know that one of my former lady friends used to call my penis Long Beach. Not because of its size, but she said it smelled fishy.
Yeah, that's just about as fishy in here. Just make sure when you go to this Long Beach, you keep the sand out of the place.
Yeah, the crevice.
Yeah.
Do not turn it into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah? Other than that, it's the beach. I'd expect tartar sauce.
Guys, it's my dad Brad's birthday today. It's his first birthday as a grandfather, so he is officially old. Happy birthday. Thanks for all you do for us crazy kids. How about a happy Chinooka and a burp fart? I'm sure he'll love it. That from your kids.
Happy Chinooka.
And guys, sending this in for myself and not for my beautiful wife or any of my 3 adult children. Turning 55, I've left my corporate job to take a gap year. Why should gap years be only for high school seniors? So can I get an original fish sandwich, a roof that doesn't leak, and some advice from Coach Ted?
Do I get a fish sandwich?
She got a roof that don't leak.
Gap year, huh? Not positive what that's about. More of an Old Navy guy myself. No, seriously. I mean, if you're taking a year off, right? That's what a gap year is. Go do something you've always wanted to do. Maybe it's Montana to fly fish. Fly fishing's hard, by the way. Maybe you want to go Hawaii, swim with some exotic fishes. Maybe go to Mexico. Maybe go to Canada and eat at Tim Hortons. Whatever, man. You've worked hard so far. You're 50 years old. You got this gap year. You can afford it. Go do it.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefly.
Time to open wide and sample Ted's meat. And potatoes. Now, here's your host, head chef of the Men's Room, the Ted Nugent.
Head chef in the house.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. There's been something fishy in the news, Miles.
What is that now?
All right, so a few months ago, there was a story about Subway's tuna sandwich. Personally, I like the tuna at Subway. I've eaten it 100 times.
I have too. Just been a long while.
Right, I haven't had it recently.
Apparently, you've never had it.
Right, so a lot of people, I see people on the Book of Faces and stuff being like, ew, who eats Subway tuna anyhow? Well, I did. All right, and I liked it. So there was a lawsuit that came out, I want to say, in January. And they were like, hey, we don't think there's any actually tuna fish in Subway's tuna.
Okay.
At that time, I was going to say, Subway responded to the lawsuit in January saying there's no truth to the allegations in the complaint and affirming the chain delivers 100% cooked tuna to its restaurant.
Okay.
Now, the New York Times went out and got 60 inches of Subway tuna sandwiches. I don't know why they couldn't just say the number of sandwiches.
Either
Seems
10,
odd.
6 inches or 5
I think
foot
they got them in
longs.
various locations, too, to make sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same tuna.
They did. They got them from different ones in L.A. It still just seems odd how they said they got 60 inches of tuna.
Do you think they could do it like if it's not like K-Rabi? You know, we know it's not crab because they have a different name.
They
so could they
spell
just
it with
call
a
it
K.
Could they call it like tuna wish? Like you wish it was tuna?
So here's the deal. The lawsuit report earlier said that it's made from a mixture of various concoctions. So they sent it to the lab. There's no amplifiable tuna DNA was present in the sample, so we obtained no amplification products from the DNA. Therefore, we cannot identify the species. So basically, here's how it boils down. They can't prove it is tuna, but they can't prove it's
because
once you cook it
and process it,
some of the DNA breaks down. It changes the
DNA to the point where they can't read it, I guess.
Correct, but it seems like there should be some tuna DNA in it.
But there's not.
But look, they even said, like, once you cook tuna, it makes it demonstrably more difficult to trace down the DNA, which to me is them lobbing a softball to Subway. Subway's response to that was no comment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the way, they're tested to see if Subway's tuna featured one of 5 variant tuna species. The New York Times reported explaining there are 15 species of fish that can be labeled as tuna.
Huh. I know yellowfin, stuff I get at a sushi restaurant.
I can name
I just assumed it would albacore because isn't that what typically a can of tuna is? Albacore tuna?
I believe it's usually albacore.
Yeah.
Now, we did hear, so we have our sister station, The Wolf. Their morning show was talking about this because everyone on Earth has been talking about it. And apparently they talked to someone who worked at Subway, a former Subway manager, who said, look, I don't believe it's tuna. They believe it begins with turkey. Right? Which I'm okay with. Like, at least it's
tuna
meat.
I mean, look, do they mix it in the store? I just assumed it showed up in a bag.
I would too. Like you
just scoop it out.
Right.
Yeah. I have no idea. I mean, it's not like they're out there catching it.
I mean, they're not making meatballs every morning. I mean, they just get a bag and they heat them up and you get a meatball sandwich, so I can't.
I was told not to eat those either. That's my go-to.
I had one yesterday. I don't know what it is.
Right, but that's not we've been talking about this all week. Like, the tuna and the meatball are my favorite subs at Subway.
Right.
And people that work there are like, I don't know if I'd eat that. Like, well, you're not me.
But here's the truth of the U.S. It doesn't matter. We're going to eat what we like. McDonald's French fries, they look the same after 20 years. Like, right. And I still order them every time I go to McDonald's. And, but Subway's not been having a great time lately, right? You start with Jared. You go like, right, that's not on you. That's him. But still, he was your spokesguy. But then what was it, last year in Ireland or whatever? They tested the bread and said, look, it's not that we're saying your bread does not qualify as bread. We're saying your bread does not qualify as food based on state.
Correct.
And now the tuna might not be tuna. And in spite of hearing all this, like, deep down, it's very funny to me, but I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, that's funny. That's gross. Give me a foot long.
All right, Miles. So you went out. You got a tuna sub from Subway.
And one from Jimmy John's.
All right.
Because we don't know anything about Jimmy John's, but they have not been called out on not having tuna.
So I just want to see if you can taste the difference, right?
Yeah, right.
Correct. So you want to start with Subway or start with Jimmy John's?
Let's start with Jimmy John's because we know for a fact that is the litmus test of being tuna.
All right.
Okay?
Well, I don't have a lot of look at this.
What happened?
I don't get any tuna.
Oh, my God, you didn't get any tuna.
I get any tuna.
Here, grab a little tuna right here. Take some more tuna.
That is not a lot of tuna.
I can't help it.
All right, so this is Jimmy John's, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn cucumbers.
For a standard sandwich.
Yeah, it tastes like tuna.
Yeah, it tastes tuna.
Yeah, that's tuna.
I think it's a little wetter, if you will.
Well, it's in the ocean, Ted.
It is.
Jimmy John's makes a good sandwich.
I like the Johns of Jim's. Mm-hmm. All right, try the Subway.
Okay. Well, let me remove this goddamn pickle. Or cucumber. What is that? A green pepper. All right.
I'll take that after one. Is this food? Here we go.
Well, I hope you enjoy the sound of our chewing.
I don't know.
All right, I mean, they
like
taste
Subway's
different,
better.
but they just taste like two different versions of tuna salad.
I prefer Subway's, whatever the hell it is.
Well, that's the other problem. I've eaten so much tuna from Subway over the years, like, I couldn't tell you if that's the way it's supposed to taste or not, because I'm just like, that's what a tuna sub at Subway tastes like.
It's pretty good, man. I mean, if it's not tuna, I don't know what it is, but it tastes like tuna.
I'm with you. Look, I think the worst case scenario is they got to come out and say, look, it's not tuna, but it's some type of fish that we've just put together.
Mm-hmm.
But Thrill is right, because I asked the same question. What's the difference between that and, imitation crab meat? But you're right. They spell it different.
They spell it different, so you can't. It's like, I would say Jack in the Box, right? So Jack on the commercial talks about his melty cheese. because it's not technically cheese. Right? It's a big oil product, but they make it up. They don't say our melted cheese sauce. It is melty cheese. So, yeah, the K-Rab, since we call it that, but it's spelled with the K. That way, so it's not crab. They're like, we don't call it crab. It just sounds like we call it crab, but it's spelled different.
I think the Subway had more flavor.
I agree. Like, whatever the hell it was, it's good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on in the fast food world.
I think at this point, I don't care.
A few people said I worked at Subway for a year, and they mixed the tuna from a bag and a sack of mayo together. Someone else says, when I worked at Subway, and granted, this was the late 90s, we mixed chicken at the sea with mayonnaise.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
because we saw this years ago with Taco Bell, and they were like, it's not real ground beef. It went to court and everything, and then they were like, no, it is.
It is.
It's just not the highest quality.
But it's cheap as hell. What did you... They're not giving you goddamn Wagyu beef, man.
Oh. Also, I don't understand how it's like a tuna thing. Like, it's one of the only things you eat out of a can.
Right.
Like, we're like, oh, Subway, your tuna's not up to my standard. It's like, it's tuna fish.
Right. You take ground up fish, throw it in the can, and we're cool with that.
Right, you're not eating a steak. It isn't lightly seared. It's out of a can.
Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room is in progress.
Coming up in minutes, we will drink, we will toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check out Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, another world record has been broken. Gentlemen, a married couple broke the record for height difference with the woman being taller.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu. Certified to operate by Chev.
He is 5'5" and he is 3'7".
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't see those numbers coming.
Nope. So that's a difference of 1 foot. 1'10", just difference.
All right. Okay.
I should have done the math beforehand, Ted. I know.
My aunt and uncle are very close to that. Oh, blessed little soul, little Stephen. That's the aunt. And then the uncle is the black boomhauer. So he's like 6'7" or 6'8", and she's about 4'11". They've been together for like 40, 45 years, but I mean...
A 2 foot difference.
You can only take a picture of them if you do vertical. Sure, if you do horizontal, either you don't see his head or you don't see hers.
So they didn't take prom pictures?
Nah, man, like every picture is a vertical picture.
Oh, damn. In the middle of their drought, Californians are complaining that their water tastes quote-unquote earthy.
That means
earthy.
dirt.
Yes. Local officials say it's still safe to drink, and they recommend adding lemon. You guys will be all right.
I feel like earthy is only good if it's marijuana or an IPA.
Right.
Yeah.
Because earthy means it tastes like the planet Earth.
Right.
Which is dirt.
Grab yourself a Brita. Yeah, it's going to taste a little off. Throw some lemon in there. You'll be all right. Due to slowed production of new cars, some used cars are actually selling for more than they were bought for.
Get out of here.
That's crazy.
Because of the little computer that's in there, they were saying that's one of the main components. So
Right.
those are kind of on a slow roll right now. So it's slowed production for all these other car companies.
Huh.
The car prices are about to get absolutely stupid just because of the slowed production of the pandemic.
Yay!
Yeah. Hang on to those, kids. A boat captain in Michigan found a 95-year-old message in a bottle, and the internet helped him track down the writer's daughter. Because it's a 95-year-old message.
What did it say? Does anyone know?
I did not.
Help!
That's probably a good call, Ted. Right. But what was crazy is that she
littering. You know why is that? If I throw a bottle in the ocean, people rightfully be like, what the hell is wrong with you? But if I say, no, it's a message in the bottle, they go, oh, okay then. Right. So I'm going to start doing that. Man, did you throw your can on the street? Yeah, but there's a message inside of it. Right.
I'm saving it for the future. It's an adventure.
That's a good call, though. I don't sweat it. There's a message in there.
Oh, cool. That's great. Now it's all right.
They're going to clean up that trash island and toss out every bottle with a piece of paper in it. A herd of 34 cows broke out of a slaughterhouse in L.A. and stampeded through the town. We covered that today. That's why there's the running of the bull this year. The other 34 are over at are just storming.
Apparently they were aggressive, too. It wasn't that they just escaped,
yeah.
they were aggressive.
Because they basically were on death row in jail and they got out.
Yeah, you mean a death row inmate who escaped.
Right.
Tell me if he seems cuddly.
He seemed aggressive.
I'll cut all you. I ain't going back.
Those cows, they were just mooing to each other like, this is it.
Right.
This is our last shot.
Let's freak people out and eat people burgers. And use their grill.
I don't think L.A. was ready for that, though.
Where would be ready for that's an urban area?
Right, exactly. I mean, you do this in Eastern Washington, there's going to be a handful of people that'll round them up, you bet. But you launch these kids out in the middle of Seattle, man, they ain't going to last a second.
Downtown Atlanta, there's a cow problem.
Right. Oh, no. A pub in Britain banned kids under the age of 12.
All right.
A pub in Britain banned kids under the age of 12, calling them, quote, feral, unbearable, and too noisy.
That has more to do with the parents, but outside of the U.S., most countries, if they have bars, if they serve out, you can bring your kid in. Like, we were in Canada, and we're sitting at the bar, and then the kids came up, and I'm like, man, this is weird. And the guy goes, like, I don't know what you guys do in the U.S., but he's like, I can tell they're not old enough to drink. It's like, even if your son orders a vodka soda, I'm not going to give him one.
Right.
We get it. They're children. This is not hard.
That would have made life.
But that said, I prefer not having kids at the bar because when you go to the bar, Daddy plans on getting drunk. So to be able to go to a place where I have my kids in the bar, I don't drink like I do if I'm just with Miles, say.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then if me and Miles are at the bar, but I got my kid, like, I can't really do shots.
Right. But I can.
Right. Uncle Miles looks a little different.
That would have made life a little bit easier when I was younger. I'd go with my dad to these auctions when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. We'd all go out and do the show. Then we'd leave and we'd meet up with other auctioneers that had other auctions at night at the local Applebee's. And they'd all sit in the bar and I'd have a booth all to myself in the doggone restaurant. I'm just sitting all by myself with my little mozzarella cheese sticks.
See, I feel bad doing that to my kid. Like,
and your dad's up at the bar?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
That's awesome.
He's over getting hammered with everybody else. I'm just sitting by myself with my crayons.
And as a parent, we do feel like crayons are the savior of all things. Hair, color. Right. We'll leave you on your own, dude.
Well, that's like pre-phone and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do. I was lucky if I had another kid sitting across from me from one of their kids.
I think they got crayons and stuff.
That's pretty late. But having a kid like this is fun for about 3 minutes.
Right.
I can only play tic-tac-toe so many times.
By yourself, though.
Right.
Wasn't having conversation with anybody, nothing like that, man. I was just sitting there.
And if you approach your parents when they're drinking and trying to be separate from you, they're annoyed before you say anything.
Can I have another
Hey, Dad, you're like,
please?
what? Like, I just want to go to the bathroom. It's like, God damn it. It's down the hall.
And there's some bars that, like I worked in a bar. You couldn't bring in a little kid. You couldn't bring in kids, period.
Right.
But people went to that bar to get wasted, to get hammered.
Right.
You know
what
why?
I mean? Like, we didn't even serve food. It was not a classy joint.
But that's part of the reason you like going to the bar. There aren't, like, if you run your mouth, if you use too much profanity, yeah, someone might get offended, but you don't feel guilty like if you're talking about a sex move and there's a 3-year-old kid sitting.
Right.
You know? That's it. I love my kids. I don't ever want them to go to the bar until they're legally old enough to do so.
Twizzlers.
And drive me home.
Twizzlers has revealed its new mystery flavor. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
Raspberry. So for everybody who guessed raspberry, you got it right.
Mystery.
Oh.
Yeah, first they did the thing. They released a mystery flavor. They said, hey, can y'all guess what this mystery flavor is? And then they revealed it to be raspberry.
You know why they probably did it that way?
Crazy.
I know. I've never even heard of that berry before.
Whoa.
I think they did it right, though, right? Because, you know, it's all artificial flavors. You go like, all right, so we go to say people, can you guess what it is? They know they want it to be raspberry. They're like, look, if no one can guess, we need to come up with another name.
Right.
Okay, people got that it's right. Yes.
Flavor's wild.
Right, because the other side of it is that people like the mystery of it. They like the guessing game. They'll buy it if they get to guess what it is.
Like, what flavor is Sharkleberry Punch?
Right.
They're like, no one knows. Let's call it Sharkleberry.
Yeah, Airheads has never told us.
No, it is just what it is. And then people buy it to guess what it is. But if Twizzlers just released raspberry with their salesman near as good?
It's like those mystery bags of Doritos.
Right.
Where you try to figure out what the flavor is.
Exactly. You can now buy a balloon ride to space for $125,000.
No, thank you.
I feel better in a spaceship.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm more comfortable in the idea of being in a helicopter, and I don't love helicopters.
Like, am I still in a
hot air
basket?
balloon?
I'm like, what is going on? A balloon?
Here's getting a little thin up here.
I mean, you got to remember, you still can't steer the damn thing.
No!
I mean, it's a balloon. They do like weather balloons, and they've sent balloons to space, but not with people attached to them.
Right.
That's the only thing. Like, yeah, send a balloon. I would love to go to space, just not on your balloon.
No. I would like to be able to steer where I'm going when I'm in space.
That's like some Willy Wonka stuff.
Yes.
I'm aboard my space balloon.
Let's see. Reddit users made a list of all of the unrealistic things that you see a little too often in movies. So those things that, you could be watching the Hulk destroy, an entire city, and we'll go ahead and accept that.
He doesn't destroy, he smashes.
But there are things that are in there that it is not reality. So can you guys...
Are they in there or are they not in there? So in other words, like no one ever poops. Is that one of the things?
So yeah, that would be something like that. Like you never see anybody actually go and use the bathroom in a movie. So what other things would you...
The first thing you thought of.
That's right.
When I think of movies, what's missing? Defecation.
First thing I thought of was the couple orgasms at the same time. It's not real, bro.
Bro, that doesn't happen. He was done about 10 minutes ago. This doesn't happen.
He was faking it.
Why are they so sweaty? Okay, so here are the 10 unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. Number 10, what is probably the bane of every villain's existence? Every villain has got the upper hand. He's good to go. He's
talks
solid.
too long.
Bingo. The villain is wasting time instead of killing the main character right away.
They always do it. Some movies, they even mention it.
Right. The monologue. He's going to sit there and he's going to tell you his dastardly plan and then giving you plenty of time to
The
foil it.
Incredibles made fun of that.
Correct.
Right? That was what's the ice guy?
Frozone.
Frozone. He's talking to Mr. Incredible, but they're laughing about some villain, and he's like, he had me, but man, he just starts blabbing on and on and on, and I got his ass.
Starts monologuing. All right, number 9. Never setting a time for things. Yet characters somehow still know when to meet up. They just kind of all end up in the same bar or the same restaurant. Or, you think about Friends. They just always walked in the coffee shop at the same time.
Yep, you're right. Despite of having different jobs.
Right. Nobody was almost done with their coffee when they walked into the shop.
Yeah, no one worked a night shift or, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Wasn't able to make it.
These are the 10 unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. Number 8. It's more of a family-style movie. Wakes up in the morning. The kid is coming out. He's got to go to school, but he's going to sit down, and he is going to have time for a full-on breakfast before work or school.
Full-on cooked.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
breakfast.
The breakfast spreads are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Pancakes and toast and a bowl of cereal.
Right.
The coffee's already being made. We're like, grab a Z-bar and shut the hell up.
Yeah. Right, and then, like, somebody, or it's usually, like, the dad comes down, but he's just got time for that burnt piece of toast and coffee.
Because he's always on the way out.
Yeah.
Dads are, either they have a very urgent job, like a doctor has to go to surgery, or dad's always running late. It's one of the two
That's
things.
the thing. Dads aren't always running late. They normally leave earlier than they should just to give enough time to get there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You never see a dad in a rush or a panic. He's just like, oh, gotta go.
Ted, I never actually thought about it, but you hit it right there on the head. Mom has been slaving away all morning for this wonderful spread. Massive amount of eggs. There's toast, pancakes, or waffles if you'd like. There's sausages and bacon. Yeah. She's got everything, but he's going to grab a bite of this toast, a sip of the coffee, and he's going to run out with his briefcase.
Always.
Yeah.
And she's always somewhat amused by it. They give each other this, I love you. Some mornings are like that. Some mornings are not.
Right.
Don't forget your mother's coming over tonight.
Tell me everybody in this room, if they didn't come out of their room into the dining room to see that spread, wouldn't just lose their doggone mind.
I'd be like, who's here?
Yeah, I pay for it. It's called brunch.
Right. I'd call the office. Guys, I'm going to be a little bit late. I'm having breakfast this morning.
Right. Go get it, Mike.
10 unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. I'm going to take you guys back to the old Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, not that abysmal thing with Johnny Depp. What is one thing that it was one of the biggest complaints when it came to Grandpa Joe? You remember it was the four of them. It was the not Grandpa.
They were all
uncles.
bedridden.
Exactly. And then he found out that Charlie got the golden ticket and he's going to the factory. And you know what he did?
He got up and danced.
He jumped his ass right up and out of that bed. Someone who was bedridden for months is able to get up and quickly walk.
Well, it was chocolate.
That is so weird.
It was. Hi, I'm going to get up and out of this bed. And then, he did a full-on vaudeville dance right there on the floor after he'd been sitting there forever.
Side note, if I'm Charlie, I'm pissed. Like, wait a minute. I've been taking care of your old ass as my mom for years.
Right.
I tell you can get a chocolate bar and you got up and danced?
Right.
Like, brother, come on.
And you think your ass is invited just because you told him to believe in himself?
That's some hardcore Charlie right there.
My ass.
Cool your jets, Gramps.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. 10 unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. Okay, I want you guys to imagine the movie. We're sitting here, and all the kids are watching TV, and they see, hey, Action Park is open for business. And they turn around and say, Dad, can we go to Action Park, please? Well, Action Park is 2 states away. What does he say?
Yep.
Sure, pack your bags, let's go. And they leave right then and there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Nobody plans a trip like that.
Hell no.
Number
My kids
6.
have asked me for 3 years to go to Disneyland. I'm like, no.
Number 6, being able to up and leave for a trip without any planning. They just,
especially with kids.
Right.
And if it's just you and another adult, you could maybe pull that off.
Well, Harold and Kumar were gone for days. Once they left, they never came back. They were just going on a White Castle run.
Right. Exactly. Top 10 unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. You'll notice this after the scenes that Ted was talking about where everybody just kind of wraps things up at the same time. Well, you notice that what happens the morning after is that the woman is always immaculate. Number 5, women always having perfect makeup and hair. And if they're just getting out of bed, they can come out of the shower and their hair is permed and ready to go.
Somebody here says that. They go, it's the equivalent. People that wake up from a coma looking better than I did after 8 hours of getting ready. I've been in a coma for 8 years. Like, you have no stubble. Your hair's in place.
You can walk. You don't have to do any of the therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not groggy at all.
Nothing. They just wake up like, what happened?
What happened?
You were in a coma.
Oh, my God.
Right,
How long?
For 8 years.
What did you miss? That guy from The Apprentice? Guess what?
Well, and it's always like funny. The dude's been in a coma for 10 years, and it's like, did the Cubs finally win? That's what you're worried about?
I mean, that's always the first thing.
Not what happened.
Right.
No,
Is my
Dad.
family alive?
Right.
Who cares? Did the Cubs win?
Unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. All right, this man is a lawyer. He works in the city. He jumps in the car and he drives downtown. And what does he find immediately without having to look anywhere?
Parking spot.
Exactly.
In
Number
New
4,
York, goddamn city.
always finding a parking space. Here, I can just parallel park up. And they never have to parallel park. Well, technically it is because they're parallel to the
No,
curb.
but they always just pull in forward.
Yes.
It's always like the high-speed chase through the cities of San Francisco. You ever been to San Francisco? The high-speed chase will last like a block.
Exactly. But as long as you turn the wheel hard enough, you can just do a 180 and land right
Always.
into the
Every
parking
time,
space,
yeah.
man. Oh, goodness gracious. Unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. Being able to hear right after gunshots.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in the Scouts, I took shotgun shooting when I was there. Man, if you don't have you know what? Now that I think of it, when I went hunting, I had a shotgun. And I didn't have ear protection when I was out there. I popped that thing one time and it rang for 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
That is loud AF, man.
When you consider the fact that it's, literally a foot from your head where the impact point is.
Right. And it's an explosion.
Right.
Yeah.
They are very real. Speaking of which, someone here says people that get shot and act like it didn't hurt, even though it's against the book.
They don't scream or cuss or nothing.
Right.
Why did you do that?
How did this escalate so quickly?
Oh, man. Top 10 unrealistic things that we see all the time in movies. And all these police movies, they arrest the guy and they bring him in, and then the cop immediately goes off to work without having to do any paperwork at all. There's a lack of paperwork in police movies for number 2.
Right. Like, generally, when you see a cop car sitting in a parking lot or something, it's because they're doing paperwork.
That's for the desk jockeys.
Right. It's a lot of paperwork.
I'm a beat cop out here. Anybody else have anything else that you might think that you've seen in movies all the time that just are completely off the rail?
Well, not every car explodes after being in an accident.
That's fair. They do. They can just crash into a
Not
hydrant.
every hotel room in Paris offers you a view of the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
That's a good point.
And not every view in Washington, D.C. can you see the Capitol building.
Not only that, but nobody watches television.
Oh, not bad at all, Miles. Nobody's just sitting there watching, unless they're a vegetable.
What are you doing?
Right.
Like, just watching, catching up on some, Family Guy.
Yeah, nobody's Netflixing.
watching.
Right.
No one's watching television.
Right. It's on in the background, but nobody's actually watching it.
Right.
So this is the number 1 unrealistic thing that we see all the time in movies. Again, you go out to the city, they're walking outside, and they need to get somewhere. So what do?
Hail a cab within 2 seconds.
Bingo. They never have to wait for anything. That includes a taxi, coffee, a phone call, nothing. They'll pick up the phone and hit a button, and then Joe just answers.
Yeah. And you know what? No one's listening to music in the car or at home.
No.
So it's not that the movie doesn't have a soundtrack and then the music plays a part in that bridge or whatever.
They're not listening.
But they're not just in their car listening to music. Oh, it's sweet.
It's only the DJ talking.
Unless it's a scary movie in which they play a very spooky-ass record.
Right. Maybe Wayne's World and the scene with...
Or they play something so loud that they can't see the killer getting into their house.
Exactly.
A bar in Massachusetts is going to the extreme to get on the local edition of Monopoly.
Why is that?
Tell you all about it now.
Thank you, Mike. Headlines are coming up 1 hour from now. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-421-ROCK. All right, we made it to drinking time.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.